or without any fear from their side about the repercussions of having to talk to my boss and I don't know what will happen later. Many people do not speak. I did a survey long ago with one of my clients. They had about 1,500 people working, and they found that people below were not talking. They are not opening up. And we did a open survey. Many people didn't respond. Then we did an anonymous survey where they don't need to declare the name or whatever. And we found very clearly that we are not giving feedback because normally it's getting used against us. If you really look at it, can your people respectfully, with respect, talk to you and give a feedback which is against something that you are advocating or recommending without consequences? 50-50 types, then it's, I mean, whatever I like to hear you tell me, I'll let you go. Whatever I don't like to hear, you're going to tell me, I'm not going to listen to that. Decision making parameters are defined. Up to this, you don't need to check. 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 Just go ahead and do. There'll be people who will have a look at the decision, because what we also created, I don't know if it exists here, do you have decision making audit? Yeah, anga paakring. It doesn't exist because you have financial audit, you have process audits, but the most important stuff that every top level executive, to some extent mid level, to a lesser extent the lower level, are doing continuously is taking decisions. But how you take decisions is not captured.
We do have.
I'm not talking about you.
No.
Why would I invest my energy in looking what your decision is when I know your connection to a larger cause is as good as mine? I can give you inputs. Can you look at this? Can you change this? But finally, the decision is yours. Because when you take a decision, you take ownership. When I take a decision, you want me to take ownership, you will say, "Neengdana sonninga." I did what you told. It didn't happen. Go, it's your call. So it's up to you. Creating an empowered organization, it's up to you. Yeah.
I just had one doubt. So you're saying building an empowered organization. So should it not be part of dharmic and stuff like that?
It's an interconnection. We wanted each manager leader to take ownership of that because some people do not want. They don't want it simple. You don't tell us what to do. So it's up to you to decide. See, some of them can actually go either way.
Okay.
If you really look at it, some of them, actually Swadharma can be an exact duplicate of my Dharma also. That's what Arjun did. He stood up for what Krishna's Swadharma Dharma was. That became his Dharma itself later. My Swadharma encompasses the entire dharmic value. Nothing like you have grown as a leader. No? The fourth value was equal treatment to all. This is what they decided. Equal treatment means I don't differentiate, I don't have prejudice, I don't treat someone differently. If you are in the organization. I can't treat you differently. If you are not in, then it's different. 2 weeks back, I was there in Coimbatore, a very large retail, I don't know, I can even say that in Chennai Silks. I met that owner, their family. They all stay within a single campus. They eat together, they stay together, they talk together. Key decisions are made by the elders together. They sit. And there are certain core values by which the family lives. So it's up to us to decide what is. This again, as I told you, is a sample framework. I am not asking you to copy paste and use everywhere. This they develop for themselves. You may find something which is a dharmic value for what you call as a family entity. Your family entity may just include your father, mother, your spouse, children, or it may include an extended family of grandparents or cousins, whatever, the whole thing is. Even now, why do we look at community living? Why do we look at gated communities? Because we look at some kind of, we need that, humans need that way of being together with others. All these are sample frameworks, that's all. You can put anything you want. You don't even have to put, you are still anyway living. How does it matter? Any other thoughts till now? Let me ask you an implementation question. Yeah.
We think we are empowering our teams. We think we are treating them equally. How do you get that feedback?
It's a Kaizen, continuous approach. You have to take feedbacks, you have to talk to them, open, anonymous feedbacks. You need to.
So multiple
The moment you open, it's like moving from a communist kind of a stuff to a democratic. People will ask you more questions. All along they are suppressed. They never ask because they are told not to open. Shut up, sit down. They will do. Suddenly now you tell them, they don't know what is behave. They don't know how to behave. They may not go berserk, but they get confused. Oh, நம்மளுக்கு இவ்வளோ இருக்கா பங்களாதேஷ் மாதிரி ஏறி அடிக்கலாம் போல் முஜிபுர் ரஹ்மான் ஸ்டாச்சுவை அடிக்கலாம் anything will happen. Suddenly that newfound freedom can create certain basic behavioral issues. So you have to do a bit of a risk mitigation, maybe let it, like how you open the sluice doors in the metro dam, open it slowly and build it up over a period of time. It's again up to you. I am not suggesting how to do it at all. We are only speaking in a hypothetical manner, but worth exploring. What I wanted to do is take about 5 minutes within your table to discuss whatever was put on table, to find if there is any commonality you see, whether you want to take something, go back and implement or not. Take about 5 minutes before we move to the next chapter. That's why we created tables. You can temporarily join the table there.
How do we change that? So it's like you said, it's a 9-month, 12-month or process, right? And
It takes time. It's not necessarily 9 months or 12 months. It is when people know that it is no more a demonstration, but it has now become part of us. Then they will. They don't hold back, no?
Correct.
வீட்டிலே அப்ரெசிவ் பேரண்ட்ஸ் இருந்தாங்கன்னா பசங்க வாயை தர மாட்டாங்க. அப்படியே
And this other thing, I think what you said was very profound, was this feedback.
Any other feedback, one, they find a way to cut, or they go back because I do a lot of work with very large a.k.a. and all that. They're afraid to give feedback because it in some way comes back in terms of a negative point. So even to give a feedback, somebody is afraid. See, I was taught by my seniors then, Sunday is a physical recharging day, sleep. That got ingrained.